This homework is very similar to the homework that we did before. The problem is that we have now negative indexing. There is a simple trick that we can do to make sure that we can still use the same previous approach. As simple as to make a shifting to the input and then undoing this shifting later. So specifically here, we will compute the minimum and the maximum in our array, and then by having that we are going to make a shift for all our values using this minimum value that we have. For example, let's say the number input was minus 10, 20, minus 2, 9, and 20. We cannot access the array using minus 10, but we can access it with 0, right? So if we added a value of 10 to all of these values, this would be 0, and then every bigger negative number would be shifted. For example, 10 plus minus 8 will be 8. Now this is a good array. We can actually mark it in the array. Once we are done with our markings for computing the frequency, we can add minus 10 back to get our actual values. So the first thing is we need to get the overall window of the numbers. That's why we computed the minimum and maximum. For example, let's say the array has minus 10 and 10. Then 10 minus minus 10 is 20. This means that we have actually a range of like 0 to 20 numbers to be used. Here in the program, we start to iterate over every value, and then for every value minus the minimum, we now start to just index based on that. For example, if the minimum was minus 10, then minus 10 minus minus 10 will be just 0. This means that the minimum value will always be in our new array as a 0, even if there are a positive value. For example, if you have 20 and 30, then the minimum would be 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So we're actually shifting all of the values such that the smallest is starting from 0. Now we can normally mark in the frequency array in a very peaceful way, and we can now find our most value and the frequency. The problem now is the most value is actually the value in a shifted array, not in our array. So we back to add the minimum again here. For example, if the minimum was minus 10 and our most repeated value was actually the 0 value, which is originally minus 10. When we add 0 over plus minus 10, we get back the 0. So the moral of that is to make a shifting to all the data such that it is now indexable in the array. Later we will learn about the dictionary, and in dictionary we will be very flexible in any key. We can have a key like a string, we can have a key like a tuple, we have a key like a negative value. So such a problem will not exist with something like dictionary. That's all.